Hello there. Welcome in. How can I help you today? Okay, yeah, you called in about the PS2, correct? Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I've got it right here actually. And it is needing a little bit of dusting if you don't mind just hanging out for a moment, but before I ask any other questions, can I get your name please? Okay. And last name? Alright, perfect. You're right here in our system. And are you one of our club members? No worries at all. It's simply something that if you find yourself coming in often, making purchases often, it might be something you're interested in. Yeah. Okay, so no problem there. We have some games right up here for you. We weren't exactly sure if you just wanted the PlayStation or if you wanted some games along with it. So we selected some of our favorite games between the lot of us that work here. And of course, it starts with Spider-Man 2, one of the icons of the generation. Yes. Okay, so that leads me to my next question then. Would you mind me showing you the games as well as going over kind of how the PlayStation 2 hardware works in terms of just what goes where, controllers, variants of the controllers, stuff like that. If you're interested, of course, this is not a sales pitch. This is just making sure you leave the store today with the biggest smile on your face. Okay, perfect then. Well, it appears that there's nobody around, so there's no timetable here. Just you and me and the PlayStation 2 Essentials. So let me hook you up here. And I will direct your attention down to the table here. So here we have it. Like I said, a little dusty. Looking better. And here we have the PlayStation 2 Slim model. Here, let me show you a little bit better right here. Got the eject button. And over here we have the power button. It's not plugged in, but if it was, it would turn on. On the back here, we've got the power button, and you will be getting that cord. We've got the AV cable port, and we've got an Ethernet port as well. Jumping back to the front here, up top, these are memory stick slots. You've got memory 1 and memory 2, and then you've got your controller slots here for 2 controllers. We do not have this, but there are attachments you can buy that will allow you to add more than 2 controllers. At least I believe there is. I know that the PS1 had it. I could be getting it backwards though. Over here, we once again have a bit of a dusty controller, but we can slide that PlayStation off to the side momentarily. Do a bit of light brushing. Other side looks good, but just a quick once over. Alright, this is your standard PS2 controller. This is the one that comes with the system. You've got your X button, circle, square, triangle, start, select, your analog pad if you played the PS1. That would have been all you had. Here we also have an analog button. And then you've got your new dual stick controllers. On the back we have R1, L1, R2, and L2. Overall, might need a little bit of wiping down, more than just that initial brushing, but it's in fantastic shape. And to just show you the wire length for a moment, it's hanging back here just for simplicity reasons, but we do have it here. Again, it'll plug into your PS2 perfectly, and then from there you can be gaming. This was before you had to download your game after buying it. It was just all on the disc. That seems like a foreign concept today, you are right. Move your PlayStation 2 off to this side now, and take a look at a few games just after I show you. This is what I mean by an AV cable, meant directly for the PlayStation. You've got your white, your red, and your yellow. Of course, we simply wrapped it up here, so it is easy for transport. Next up, we have some games here for you. I believe you already know Spider-Man 2. An absolute classic, especially that first mission of delivering pizzas. This is rated T for teen if you're going to let your kids play it, so please just be aware of that. But personally, I was the one that chose this game. It is some of the most fun combat out there. It's rated teen for violence. Of course, you're Spider-Man. You're going to be taking care of the bad guys, and that is considered violence. Some of the mini bosses, I remember as a kid being a little hard, but nothing wrong with a little bit of challenge. It's not like Super Mario Bros. 3 hard, but it's got some difficulty to it that today's video games just don't fully acknowledge. This is made by Activision, and it is one of the PlayStation 2 greatest hits. And this is, if this matters to you, this is the North American version. I believe we tend to only get North American versions here, which is a bit strange, but what are you gonna do? Next up, we've got the much beloved 2000s movie, the video game, Madagascar. This is E10 and up. That's E10 and up. Very, very fun game. It is quite a mixed bunch. Let me just read this off to you for a moment so you can kind of get a better idea. Play as Alex, Marty, Gloria, Melman, and the Crafty Penguins. Adventure through action-packed chapters, rear kick, bounce, and spin as you learn to survive the world. Interact with totally new characters and locations unique to the game. I still remember as Melman running down an absolutely loaded street filled with cars running away from the zoo to get to the train station. Putting that off to the side though, of course feel free to let me know if anyone specifically stands out to you. Here we have Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, the not Queen of Darkness, the Angel of Darkness. The Angel of Darkness. Lara Croft right there in all of her PS2 glory. No longer just a low poly res. And it says 5 out of 5 stars, and that's from Maxim, so you know. Maxim gave it a 5 stars out of 5. Accused of the murder of her former mentor, Lara Croft becomes a fugitive on the run. In an attempt to clear her name, Lara must confront a powerful secret alliance intent on taking her over the world. With explosive action and gripping story, this is Tomb Raider like you've never experienced before. And it does have a little ad read for the Cradle of Life. It was in summers that year, or in theaters that summer that year. Got the old GameStop tags on there as well to really capitalize on the nostalgia factor. Back before we all learned not to trade in our games. Next up, we've got an absolute OG with Shrek 2, the game, once again made by Activision. They weren't always just Call of Duty. That is definitely not our sticker there. But the adventure continues with all new characters in far out locations never seen before. I had a friend that really loved this game. I remember one night we just started watching a playthrough of this particular game. We've got Shrek, Donkey, and Puss in Boots. We've got Fiona, Dragon, and so much more. It is quite a game. I would highly recommend most of these games. If I'm being candid, these are just games that I enjoy and wanted to share. Here is how these are actually supposed to look with the crossed out logos. But this is for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie by THQ, rated E for everyone. And if you liked Battle of Bikini Bottom, boy do I have something here for you. For years, I remember, I played this when I was really young, but it was at like someone else's place. So I had no idea what this game was called. I knew it was SpongeBob, but I didn't know anything else other than the currency was weights. Eventually, I watched a video with gameplay from all of the SpongeBob games around this time and ended up finding it, which was a fantastic day for your boy. It says bigger, better, more absorbent. We've got Patrick, SpongeBob, and the Burger Mobile. It says to go on the license plate. We've got Patrick and SpongeBob in a teacup, and we've got Patrick by himself over here. Quickly join SpongeBob and Patrick on their most perilous journey ever to a mysterious place no sea creature has ever returned from. Only you can help them save Mr. Krabs and all of Bikini Bottom from Plankton's dreaded Plan Z or Plan Z, depending on where your vocabulary is from. But that is all the games on our side over here. Set those a little off to the side, and I'm going to start you out with a banger right after I ask this question. How are you feeling about what we have done so far? Everything we've seen some games here. Did you see any that stood out to you? If so, feel free to let me know and I can set them aside. Okay, yeah. So, that's perfect, of course. I can't show you this next pile. If you would just like those games, that's perfectly okay. It would be my pleasure to show you the next pile that we've set out for you. But if you are in a rush, it is not mandatory. We've got some things for you that work. Okay, you've got some time, perfect. Over here, before we get into that, I've got a personal favorite, that being the Darth Vader PS2 controller. Let me put the wire up here, because it's all crazy right now. Get this top level dirt off of it, or dust, debris. So there's a lot more to this one, but I don't really know what it all does, if I'm being completely honest. There's your typical start select, and then there's the program button, the analog button, the clear button, and the turbo button. No idea what these three buttons do. Have never even thought to try them. As you can see, these are a bit more like stronger buttons, thicker buttons, I guess you could say, than the original controller. And over here on the side, you've got Darth Vader. If you are a Star Wars fan, this is the perfect controller for you. And as always, we do have the buttons on the back there, but if you're interested in that, purely let me know. It's just off to the side there, as you saw. We put it over there. But let's get into these last 5 games. These are a little different than the first 5. Kinda, a little bit. You'll see why. We're starting out with an absolute banger, a certified hood classic. Lego, that's Lego, Star Wars. The video game. We've got Episode 2 Anakin, Episode 3 Obi-Wan. Let me make sure I get Episode 3 Grievous, Darth Maul, Episode 3 Yoda, I believe, C-3PO, and R2-D2. This is a PlayStation 2 greatest hits and is rated E for everyone. It says all the characters, all the action, all the fun. It's play episodes 1, 2, and 3. We've got episode 3 there getting some exposure. Here too. First mission in the game right here for episode 1. And hold on a minute. This is episode 2, Obi-Wan. Because here we have the fight with Count Dooku. Episode 1 on the Trade Federation ship. I don't know why I blanked on that. And then these two, I believe, are from the same level over in episode 3. This is the start of episode 3, though, with the battle over Coruscant. It's rated E for everyone due to violence, but it's a Lego. We've got a Naboo starfighter up here, a little bit of Darth Maul action down here, and of course, not a young Anakin Skywalker, but a medium Anakin Skywalker. Here's where things get a little different, and we're gonna start here with Def Jam, Fight for New York. That is Def Jam, Fight with New York by EA Games. I swear there's no microtransactions. It is rated M for mature because it is overall a fighting game. It is not a 2D fighting game style where there's like two sides of the screen is where you start, not like Mortal Kombat, but this is like a 3D version of it. And this is like a hip-hop variant where you're in the underground situations and fight your way through New York. Let's see what it says here. Fight for control of hip-hop's underworld. Hit with 5 fighting styles. Anything goes, bats, bottles, pipes, and more. Watch your back. Crowds get into the action. Own the streets with your creative fighter. And seeing as the Knicks won the 2026 NBA Finals, this seemed like a little bit of what was happening right after the game. Just a smidgen. It is featuring a lot of hip-hop stars if these names mean something to you. It's got Bone Crusher, Bubba Sparks, Busta Rhyme, Capone, Carmen Electra, Comp, Crazy Legs, Danny Trejo, David Banner, DJ Enough, DJ Philly Feel, Felly Fell, Elephant Man, Eric Sermon, Famlay, Fat Joe, Flava Flav, Freeway, Ghostface Killa, Havoc, Henry Rollins, Ice-T, Joe Budden, Kimora Lee, Lil Flip, Lil Kim, Ludacris, Mac 10, Memphis Bleak, Method Man, N.O.R.E., Omar Epps, Prodigy, Redman, Scarface, Sean Paul, Shawnina, Slick Rick, Snoop Dogg, Sticky Fingers, Warren G, WC, and Exhibit. So if you enjoy any of them, they are in this game here. And once again, it seems as though our staff forgot to blur out the last price tag. Don't worry, we charge the same. It's just a branding image thing. This is SOCOM 3 U.S. Navy SEALs. Rated M for mature. It is a shooter game, not like Call of Duty Black Ops 7, but more like SOCOM 3 U.S. Navy SEALs. The call of freedom echoes throughout the world. It is M for mature for blood and violence. This is one that my coworker picked out, so I'm not 100% sure what to expect here. But if you enjoy these military types of games, you might enjoy this. It says traverse intense areas of operation with battle-hardened land vehicles and sleek watercraft. Battle online with and against 32 players through Morocco, Poland, and South Asia maps. Not gonna lie, I'd be shocked if you found 32 players to play this. Not unheard of, but... And finally, association with naval special warfare provides a realistic portrayal of Navy SEAL team tactics. We've got the old GameStop logos on here, but we've got Star Wars Battlefront 2. This is by Pandemic and Lucasfilm. Fight more of the greatest Star Wars battles any way you want. We've got Yoda and a clone trooper. We've got one of my favorites, which is the Battle over Coruscant. And forgive me, but what is this last one? It appears to be Mustafar. It was just throwing me off because there definitely weren't clones in Mustafar. But in the Battlefront 2, that's a whole nother ball game. And then you've got your time on Camino. You've got that narrator for this one. Rated T for teen for mild language and violence. If you like Star Wars, you'll probably like this game. Not even gonna cap. It was one of the few games I owned growing up, and as a Star Wars fan, wasn't something that I typically was playing. The next game up is right here. But I grew to love it. We got Kung Fu Panda. Once again by Activision. Eat him up. So in this one, everybody is Kung Fu fighting. Kung Fu Panda style. Master your Kung Fu skills as Po, Shifu, and the Furious Five. Apologies, I'm trying to read this upside down. Face dangerous foes on a legendary Kung Fu journey. Team up with or battle against friends in multiplayer mode. And of course we've got the Furious Five along with Tao Lung. We've got Shifu. We've got Po himself. We've got a fight here. A little bit of silliness here. Did I say Tao Lung? What am I thinking? It's Tai Lung. I'm not even sure what I was thinking there. Alright, perfect. And it is going to be that $5 tag that you saw for that one as well. Again, someone forgot to put the marketing on there, but it's fine. Out of those 5 games though, which interest you, if any? Would you like to add the controller, add any more games? How are you feeling right now? Okay. Of course I can do that, yeah. Well, let's get to it then. Alright, perfect. Thank you so much for letting me go through all of that with you. And I just want to ask any further questions you may have from me. Would you like to look around before picking up your PlayStation 2? Okay, yeah, and just asking one last time, can you restate the games that you were interested in, and if you were interested in a variant of the PlayStation 2 controller? Okay, yep, got that here. Perfect. Alright, yeah. That is a good one, yeah. Well, perfect. I will just set that there, and I've got it all plugged into our machine here. If you can just tap your card. It is card right, I'm assuming. Okay, perfect. Sometimes it's cash, you know, in the big 2-6. Not a lot of cash users these days, but always want to make sure. Alright. Wait for that to do its thing. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here and checking out the store, trusting us with the process of getting you a genuine PlayStation 2 that's in tip-top and tested condition. A lot of places don't test their machines for some reason. A lot of thrift stores especially. They'll just sell it as is, and it just blows my mind every time. It's like, come on, you couldn't plug it in? But yes, this does come with, of course, the AV cables, just checking in on that. For the PS2, one controller, the base controller, and one game. So, one of those games, as you saw, was actually just the whole price knocked out. It was one of the cheaper games. That's just how our system does it. But we do like to reward customers that are into the more physical hobby and the retro aspects of things. Speaking of which, I guess our technology wants to be retro today with its loading times. So, any further questions? Yeah, of course. Loading times with the PS2 aren't great, especially if you're downsizing from like the newest generation. Even PS4 to PS3 had quite a sizable difference. And so PS3 to PS2, it's not the biggest difference in the world, but there definitely is. PS3 was a lot bigger files and bigger levels and everything that comes with the sword. PS2 isn't too bad when it comes to that. Though there are many games that simply run better on something like PC or the Steam Deck or wherever you get your games for the retro aspects. Like, what's one thing? You know, Fable the Lost Chapter is not a PS2 game, but an Xbox game. It does run quicker over on the PC and Steam Deck. Yes. Okay, perfect. Well, would you like a bag for your stuff? That did go through in our system here. Perfect. So I'll just give these to you then, since you've got your own bag. And thank you again so much for being here. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. On to the next chapter.